Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video for Conan Exiles. Today, this video, folks, I'm going to show you ways of leveling up Thralls in the game, and this doesn't just apply to Thralls, it also does apply to all of your pets. And there's quite a bit to cover here, so I'm just going to cover the Thralls specifically. We're going to be looking at various Thralls and ways to kind of try and influence what they level up in. And I'm also going to be showing you some stats and all of that good stuff with regards to when the Thralls level up and what they can achieve. And I'll cover your basic Thralls all the way up to your better Thralls. And with that being said and done, if you guys like this sort of stuff, please don't forget to support me on the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already to the channel, and you can always find me on the Setopia Discord. Links to this you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment from myself. So in front of me I have a bunch of Thralls. They are all sorts of Thralls. I've not changed the name so you guys can kind of see as I go through them what Thralls they are. And I'll have some of them that are leveled up, some that aren't, so you can see the base stats. The thing that you need to know is, depending on their tier, the lower the tier Thrall is, the less experience it will take to level it up. The higher the tier, the more experience. So as you can see right here, we have a tier 1 fighter, and as you can see, it doesn't really require that much experience. These are the foods. Nice. Now this is very important because these foods have a potential to affect certain stats that it may get. This is a Cimmerian fighter. It's a tier 1. This is what it looks like when it's fully leveled up, and as you can see, it gets a decent amount of HP. Now that is actually quite good. These are the perks and the stats that it got through leveling up. Now I'm gonna cover the food because it's quite important right here, but this is what a tier 1 Cimmerian fighter starts out with. Very similar to the Dafari fighter, but as you can see, they get a decent amount of HP. Now over here I have quite a few Thralls, so I'm just going to show you their name tags and stuff like that. This is a Thrall that's not been leveled up, and they have food in their inventory. Very important to note is that the food that you put in their inventory will affect a percentage of certain stats of getting increased when they level up. They also consume that food when they take damage, so that's very important to note. So for example, because Dylincia has been leveled up, so her HP's gone up, therefore she will be consuming that food like crazy to heal up. So first things first, going to start off with the captain, who's got the gruel over here, and then we've got captain who's got the grilled meat. So as you can see, the captain has again used up his grilled meat, and that's because he lost HP. The others that don't or have a full bar of HP and don't have food, or have food in them, will only use one from time to time. Very important to note is that once they've consumed whatever food, one piece of whatever food that you put in, they will get certain bonuses alongside healing, and those bonuses will go into 1 or 2 stats depending on what food it is. Now the very interesting thing is that this over here, the roasted haunch, actually doesn't do anything. It only acts as food for healing. I'll show that later on. And yeah, so let's get into, I'm going to start from over there, and we're going to work around in a circle and kind of show you all of the foods that you can craft and put on them. I'm kind of showing you that, for example, this over here has a spiced haunch. I've played around with that, tried it on various Thralls. I don't seem to get anything, but as you can see, nothing over here in terms of bonuses. Now if you look at the little section underneath the effect, so I'm trying to decide where to start. We're gonna start from here. We've got the enhanced gruel. So I've placed everything that you can see that they eat. So over here we've got some bonuses, and that is from the food. So what you see in their attributes with the plus whatever number that is what they're getting from food. Now what that does is it actually increases by that amount the chance of the next point going into that particular attribute. So that's kind of the way it works. It's not a guaranteed, it's just a percentage. So I'm going to start off with the gruel. I'm going to go through them. I'm going to look at the stats and what it does. I'm going to look at both thralls that have the food as well, or thralls that have the food that have been leveled up, and thralls that have the food that haven't been leveled up. It really doesn't make a difference once it's been leveled up. So gruel will give us strength. It just goes into strength a decent amount as well. So if you want to try and increase the chances of your thrall getting attributes into strength, you want to go for gruel. It's easy to make. Then we have the captain over here who has, let's have a look at the inventory because I can't remember. We have the grilled meat, the grilled steak, that's what it's called. Again, very easy to make. You just need meat, put it on the fire, and that's that done. And as you can see, it goes into vitality, so it increases the chances of that thrall getting that random attribute into vitality. Again, this is a thrall that has been fully leveled up, so the stacks that I put in it, it consumed with the purpose of healing, so it does also get healing from the food as well. Next up, we have the cooked pork rinds. A bit more complex to get this, but let's have a look at what it does. It goes into strength and agility. So certain foods will affect 2 stats, other foods will affect just 1 stat. This is not a guarantee, it's just a increase in the percentage of getting that next point put into that stat. Next up we have the shredded roast, and again, very easy to get. You just get the little leftover pieces, put them on a fire, and you get shredded roast. Very simple. But this goes into agility. Notice that you get 5 points of healing as well. So very, very nice touch. I like what they've done with the food here. We're going to look again at this thrall's inventory. Here we have the cooked fish. Again, this is a thrall that's not been leveled up, and you'll see that it still affects that percentage. So in attributes, it goes into accuracy, so this will be your food for your archers if you want to increase their accuracy. So I'll kind of compare it with that because it's good to know this stuff depending on what you're aiming for. Then we have the enhanced gruel. This one actually is okay to make, and it stacks into 100, and it splits between strength and accuracy. So again, another one of those foods that has the chances of affecting 2 stats. We've got a relic hunter treasure seeker right here who has the exotic feast. This one a bit more complicated to make, but let's have a look at what stats this affects. It's strength and vitality. So to me, for a fighter, strength and vitality are the 2 most important stats that you want to go for. Over here we have the lasting meal. Again, a bit more complex to make, and it will go into agility, or affect agility and survival. And so we're kind of coming to an end right here. We have the Black Hand Captain who has the exquisite stew. Let's see what stats this affects. It will be strength and vitality again. As you can see, these are the numbers. And over here we have the Black Hand Captain, so they do come in 2 genders, and you can get these guys from the Black Galleon. Very easy to get. You can either get the Black Captain or Captain Ishua from the Black Galleon. It's easy to locate, and these are guaranteed spawns. It will either be the Black Hand Captain or Captain Ishua. Now with the hunch, as you can see, it doesn't really do anything. It does heal, but that's kind of pretty much it. That's really all it does. So just as a thought there. Now I'm going to test the hunch on some other thralls just to kind of show you. And over here we have Captain Ishua again from the Black Galleon, and just want to show you what they look like when they level up. They do get a decent amount of HP, and anything with I'd say around 10,000 HP or close to it when it's been fully leveled up is a decent thrall in terms of HP. It may not necessarily do a lot of damage, but it does have a good survivability, especially if you put heavy armor on them. So we're gonna get some of this wonderful roasted hunch, put it on this guy, and kind of show you that this is the only food that does absolutely nothing. So just as I thought. Now in terms of leveling these guys up, what I found to be quite effective is to start off by just killing trash around the map, random stuff, just going into fight. Very important here is that they only get XP from killing things. So if you craft stuff, if you gather stuff, or if you're on around the world, they have to firstly follow you, and then they have to kill stuff. These are the two requirements for your thralls and followers to level up, and by followers I'm also referring to pets. This is quite important right here. So you want to go into fight, you want to start off easy, and I'd probably place the best heavy armor that you can on them at the time you're leveling them up. You want to start off up until maybe level 5 to 10. Just make sure that they get those points into HP and gain that survivability. Then you want to move up and try and kill maybe 2 world bosses, 3 world bosses, and then after that what I've been doing is I've been going through dungeons. Now I've been targeting dungeons that have a lot of NPCs. So for example, a good dungeon, and this is for your higher tier thralls, your relic hunter treasure seekers, your tier 4 named fighters. I've been doing the wine cellar dungeon. Do bear in mind that the bosses in that dungeon hit like a truck, so you want to make sure that your thrall has really good armor on them and a lot of HP, and you also want to have some healing arrows on you so that you can heal them during combat. Also, you want to make sure that they have food in their inventory, and because they will use up food to heal passively, you want to make sure that you have some spare food for yourself. So that's kind of like what I've been doing. You know, once I get to the dungeon side, I just keep running dungeons over and over again, farming them for the resources that I need, and eventually, quite quickly, you tend to level them up. A good mid-range method of leveling them up is by going on and taking the world bosses, but after a certain point, even that large amount of XP that the world bosses give, they start to get grindier and grindier, so you want them to kill as many things as quickly as possible. Now also important to note, and I have played around with the settings, no matter how you move the XP slider for your character, your players, that will not affect the speed at which the thralls or followers will gain XP. They have a set rate, and that's what it is regardless of that slider. So you're basically going to have to grind it up. Now that's fine, it does make for a good amount of work, it is fun, and it's actually worth it. Now of course you can get thralls with bad stats, and if you get thralls that get bad stats in places that you don't want them, so say at level 15 they got a bad stat that's really kind of gone against the first perk that you want, and so the second perk is really bad, you can just drop that and start off on a new thrall, and so on. Now there is obviously a chance of getting bad perks, but that's the way the game rolls. I kind of like it. It's still a bit wobbly at places. There are things that it can be improved upon. I mentioned that in my previous video, but overall it's a good system. It's a good random system. You know, I kind of like the way it works, to be fairly honest. With regards to the food that they have in their inventory, as I've said and as I've shown, that will affect the stats and attributes that they get, in the sense that it will add to that percentage of getting whatever point when they level up into a specific stat. It will increase that chance. It's not a guarantee. Once they've reached that level, that buff, if you will, does disappear unless you put more food in them. As they level up, they will gain more HP, and as they gain more HP, they will consume more food. So these are very important things to keep in mind when leveling up your thralls. And now a tier 1 thrall can be just as helpful as a tier 4 thrall for a player starting out, at least in my opinion, especially with the fact that they can get a decent HP pool. That is it for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it and found it useful and informative. If you have, please do not forget to support me on the channel by hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel, if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment from myself. Until next time, stay safe, folks.